Hello, everyone. I'm Jeffrey Turner, aka Mega Jetty 1, and you can bet on that. And as you can tell, I just got my ass kicked by Cobra Kai. Now I know how Daniel LaRusso felt. The Karate Kid is a movie about a boy by the name of Daniel LaRusso, and he has moved all the way from Newark, New Jersey, all the way to Reseda, California, with the sole intention of making a new life. But it turns out said new life is not so easy to acquire, especially when he happens to fall for the girl named Allie, a girl from the rich side of the city. And unfortunately, Allie happened to also be dating someone already by the name of Johnny Lawrence, member of a gang called the Cobra Kai Gang. What is the Cobra Kai Gang? Well, apparently it is this group of kids who formed after they took up Cobra Kai karate from Sensei John Kreese, who himself was a soldier from Vietnam. In the wake of this, Daniel has struggled to try and stand up to Cobra Kai because while he does already have some karate skills that he learned from the YMCA, they are nothing compared to Cobra Kai karate. So, after several times of getting his butt kicked, he meets a wise sensei in the art of true karate, and must teach him in order to basically stand up for himself and take down the Cobra Kai karate gang. So, with that said, what is my view on this movie? Well, I think the only way we're going to find out is if we rewatch the movie. So, with that said, let's take a look back at Karate Kid, and hopefully maybe I can relearn how I need to stand up to Cobra Kai. We open up with a quick shot of Daniel and his mother leaving Newark in search for a better life out in California. After some time getting there and several tries of trying to get the car moving, they finally arrive at an old motel. Sadly, Daniel's reaction is that of disappointment and not too fond of the entire thing. Boy, he must have had a serious case of car lag. After some time of getting to know the neighbors and demonstrating a bit of karate that he learned at the YMCA, Daniel has to find someone to repair the sink, and in his search, he stumbles across the mentor role of the movie, Mr. Miyagi himself, a native of Okinawa who had immigrated to the U.S. When not working on the stuff that he needs to repair, Mr. Miyagi spends most of his time trying to catch a fly with chopsticks. Wow. In an effort to make new friends, Daniel ends up going to the beach and happens to meet his future love interest, namely Allie Mills, from the rich side of L.A. I'm beginning to see why he was falling for her. Then along comes Johnny Lawrence, Allie's ex, who she had recently broke up with. Unfortunately, Johnny doesn't get the message, as he's determined to win her back by spending the next school year trying to be better. Unfortunately, when he sees her and Daniel bonding down on the beach, he feels he has to up his game, and unfortunately comes off too harsh. He tries to talk to her. She doesn't want to talk because she's not in the mood, so he trashes her boombox. When Daniel tries to pick it up and give it back to her, he of course snatches it and then throws it into him, knocking him to the ground. Daniel of course does try to fight back with a sucker punch, but unfortunately he's no match for the strength of Cobra Kai. You know, Daniel really should get a refund for those YMCA karate lessons, since they obviously didn't help him out here. Daniel tries to hide his humiliation from his mother, but to no avail. He then makes his way to school to the song Cruel Summer by Bananarama, and then he tries to make things work out with Allie. Sadly, this only serves to upset an even more desperate Johnny Lawrence. And, well, he doesn't end up getting on the soccer ball team, which leads him to say a very famous line. This school sucks, man! Daniel, I know the feeling. To try and stand up to Johnny, Daniel goes to a karate school to learn more karate than he normally would at the YMCA. Unfortunately, he finds out that it is the Cobra Kai dojo, and that Johnny Lawrence is not only just a student, but is also an instructor there in his spare time. After days spent of ducking Johnny, Daniel sneaks to the prom in a shower disguise, but only ends up getting himself egged on the head. When he goes to the restroom to clean up, he finds Johnny is in there and decides to get a little payback for all the harassment he's taken. Daniel's mother really should have taught him that 2 wrongs don't make a right, but 3 rights make a left. A chase then ensues, resulting in Johnny cornering Daniel and him and his gang beating the crap out of him. Unfortunately, he's not exactly finished with him. He decides to take things to a more extreme level.
He's had enough! On the side when he's had enough, man!
Whoa. This just seriously escalated. Oh wait, what is that? Is it a bird? Is it a plane? Wait, it's... Well, it sure as shit ain't Superman. No, it's Mr. Miyagi. Mr. Miyagi takes Daniel back to his workshop and patches him up before instructing him that fighting always should be the last answer to a problem, never the first. And instructs him that the reason why Johnny's so bad is because there's no such thing as a bad student, only a bad teacher.
Teacher said, student do.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to call bullshit on that. Some students are known to take what they're taught and then do their own thing and disregard what their teacher says. The next day, Mr. Miyagi takes Daniel to the Cobra Kai dojo to try and settle things peacefully. There, he finds that John Kreese, like himself, is a fellow warrior from a famous war. Unfortunately, one came back with honor, the other did not. And, as a result, Mr. Miyagi is forced to settle things the old-fashioned way, like that of a warrior. He decides to challenge the Cobra Kai team to the All Valley Karate Tournament, and with the stipulation that Daniel is not to be harmed while he trains.
You're a pushy little bastard, ain't you? But I like that. I like that.
Mr. Miyagi swears to teach Daniel karate, only to have him wax his car, sand his floor, paint his fence, his whole fence, and even paint his house. Wow, Daniel must be getting screwed. First, the YMCA doesn't give him much, and now this old man has him doing his chores? Wow. He really needs to get himself a better teacher, alright. But not everything is quite as it seems, as after he hurts his shoulder during the painting of Mr. Miyagi's house, Daniel happens to complain about it to the point where he's about to leave, but then Mr. Miyagi performs a secret healing technique. How did he do that?
On the floor. How did you do that? Shut up!
Whoa, okay, forget I asked.
Wax on. Wax off.
I will never look at chores the same way again. As Daniel's training continues, he witnesses the crane technique, a technique that would prove useful in the coming battle. One night, Daniel finds out there's more to Mr. Miyagi than he realized when he finds him drunk and dressed in a military uniform. Apparently, Mr. Miyagi had a wife and an unborn child that tragically died in childbirth while he was off fighting in the war. This resulted in him being lonely for so long until he met Daniel, and therefore sees Daniel as the son that he never had, yet always wanted. And at the same time, Daniel, who had lost his father recently before the events of this movie, he finds a father figure in Mr. Miyagi. This knowledge strengthens the bond between Mr. Miyagi and Daniel-san, and he takes his training more seriously and grows as a fighter. He's ready for the tournament.
Nothing's gonna ever keep you down. You're the best.
Gotta love the 80s montage where they just bypass everything with a few clips here and there to a cool action song. Gotta love it.
Sensei, turn, kneel.
Johnny, you're a creep, pop!
Sweep the leg.
Johnny!
Come on, Daniel, you can do it! Come on!
Finish him!
Daniel has won and has finally stood up to Cobra Kai. And he got the girl. Can't go wrong there. In fact, now that I think about it, I think I now know how I can stand up to Cobra Kai whenever they get in my face. It just goes to show that what we have is what makes us who we are. Karate is in everything we do. We just gotta know how to go about it. It's all about attitude. And with that said, I am Jeffrey Turner, aka Mega Jetty 1. You can bet on that!